Hey there, my stamping friends. Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stamp and Show and Tell project to share with you today, and we're going to be using the Splendid Thoughts bundle from the Fall Mini Catalog. So you can see here I've got a sample of the card I'm going to show you. This one was done in Pool Party as a monochrome, and today I'm going to be doing it in soft seafoam. So both papers are from the Splendid Day DSP bundle, and there's some beautiful colors in there with nice subtle patterns to them. So I'm going to stamp directly onto my DSP, do some dry embossing, and then make this fun embellishment here with dies, and then put it all together. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm doing monochrome, so I'm using soft seafoam paper for my card base and the piece that I'm going to emboss. This is a piece of foil paper that comes in that Splendid Day, and we're going to die cut that with these two floral embellishments from the coordinating dies. And so I've done that ahead of time. I'll bring those in. So we've got these nice delicate embellishments to use on our card that are going to really make it pop against the monochrome background. So that was done on my Stampin' Cut machine. Then I've also die cut from just basic white these little half circles, and they've got these fun little piercing marks along here with some indentations around the side, and I'm using it today like a little flower pot underneath. Now I've done two because I'm stamping my sentiment on it after I've die cut it, and that way it just gives me a spare in case I don't quite get my sentiment on there the way I want to. Okay, one other element I do here is I have a piece of soft seafoam cut down. Now I have this embossing folder, Elegant Eucalyptus. It's actually a mini folder, and there's two of them. This one has the eucalyptus going up like in stalks, right? And then this one is like a spray of eucalyptus coming out that you could use as another embellishment. So those two come together in this Elegant Eucalyptus embossing folder pack. I've taken this little one, run it through the one that has just the eucalyptus going upright, and now I've got this smaller piece to use as an embellishment on my card. Okay, so there's all the die cutting and embossing that I've done. So those are my little extra pieces. So now I have my card base, which is soft seafoam, just your standard 8.5 by 11, scored at 4 1/4. This is the one I did my die cutting for my little white pieces. So now I have this soft seafoam patterned paper. The back side is also a metallic. This one's kind of in a gold or a champagne kind of color, but we're using the soft seafoam side. And I'm going to bring in my soft seafoam ink, and I'm just going to stamp two images from the stamp set Splendid Day. So they're similar, but they don't exactly coordinate as a two-step like we kind of are used to, right? We see stamps that are similar and say, oh, they're supposed to be two-step. This one isn't really. This one's more of a shadow of a stamp, so it doesn't have to fit completely correctly. So I'm going to stamp this a little off to the side, and you'll see why when I put the card together, the way I layer my pieces. So first I've done the outline stamp, and then I'm going to come in with the full leaf stamp. Now again, like I said, it's not a two-step, it's kind of an offset shadow. And I'm going to take this leaf here, and I'm just going to kind of line it up between these two previous images. So I'm just creating kind of a shadow, and I'm also taking this part down here, which is kind of like where you think the stem might be, and I'm going to line it up kind of over my stem. So those two little points, and I just kind of stamp that down, and it's going to create a secondary image for us on our cardstock. Okay, so there's that. Oh, I still need my ink because I have to do my sentiment. Okay, so that's going to be our piece like that. So now let's do our sentiment. So sending hugs goes this way. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to test my stamp on my grid sheet here. And you can see I've stamped that straight edge on my straight edge here, so it lines up pretty good straight across. So now I'm going to bring this up, square that off on my grid sheet. Okay, so I'm kind of using the grid sheet to help me line up my image. See how I do. That's pretty good. All right, so there's a nice little tip. Use that grid sheet to help you. Okay, so now I'm just going to put all this down with my green glue. Okay, so I'm just going to add some to the back of my foil. This is going to help adhere the two layers together. And like I said, I've stamped that off on the side. And so this piece is going to be offset over here. I'm just going to kind of frame it 1/4 of an inch in all of those three sides. Okay, and then I've got my dry embossed panel. And I'm going to offset that stamped image over here. And this one's scaled down a little bit so it comes inside of this paper. Just a little. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is very carefully, I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive to the back of my very delicate die cut here. You could use your fine tip glue pen if you wanted to, or you could run these through on adhesive sheets through your die cut machine. That way they're more like a peel and stick. But I find that if I go nice and slow and don't do too much, I can do it with my green glue just as well. So I'm going to put this one down like here. Just kind of press that down for a second so that adhesive gets to marry up with the cardstock below it. Okay, just add a little bit of pressure. And then I've got my other little one here. I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to very lightly add adhesive. Now I'm putting it kind of where the thicker part of the die is on the back, but you can add it right to those tips, but don't add too much. You don't want it to squish out on your project, then it'll be sticky. Okay, and so this one's just going to go offset over here. Again, I'm just going to press that lightly for a second. Let that go down. Okay, and then I've got my sentiment, my little flower pot. And this is just going to cover up those stems underneath and tie the whole project together. Okay, so there we go. We did some direct stamping on our DSP. We used embossing folder to create this little panel. We used the coordinating dies to create these fun foil elements. Right, the sentiment tag became the little flower pot. And there's our project. So again, that uses the Splendid Day stamp set along with its coordinating paper, and I tied in the eucalyptus folder to kind of give it that fun coordinating embellishment there. And you guys know you can hop over to my blog post, see all the details on the products listed there. You can also sign up for my newsletter. Don't forget, right here on YouTube, you can click that button so that you can subscribe, so whenever I share a new project, you'll get notified. And I love getting comments. Let me know what you think about the project or a technique, or if you have questions. I'm really happy to help you out, or to just know that you're enjoying what I'm sharing. Alright everybody, have a great day, do some fun stamping, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.